Hello, my name is Gabriel de Groei, and this is my short video into the world of crypto interacting with the real world, the tangible world that we lived in before cryptocurrency uh, was invented in 2009. This video aims to look at some of the preconceptions that I had before entering the minor at Haagse Hogeschool for blockchain introduction. During my minor there, I have learned a lot about economics, monies, values, and the conversations around ethics and pragmatism has always been quite interesting to me. And after this, nearly finishing this minor, I want to look back on some of those ideas that I previously held. And with the combination of explaining some easy to follow topics, I want to see if I can further the conversation that's currently happening around cryptocurrencies and how it could interact with us, real people. So, what are some of those previously held ideas that I had? Well, one of the most important ones was the idea of value. Where does the value of cryptocurrency come from? And what should be done for cryptocurrency to maintain its value? When looking at a video game character is only useful in the video game. A video game character, the coding for it outside of the video game is completely useless. Same for a Monopoly piece. Without a Monopoly game, the Monopoly piece is just a shoe. And I always assumed that cryptocurrency, which is valued quite highly in the digital world, would it still maintain its value if it was taken outside of it? If it was exchanged for a handbag or if it was exchanged for a loaf of bread, would it still be, how would that work? How would it be accepted? Is there a border that needs to be crossing? And what makes up that border? Is it just superstition, or what do we need to overcome before cryptocurrency can enter the normal market and is not just a niche token that is used currently for less than 10% of the world? So some of the topics that we're going to first discuss before entering into that discussion again is to bring people that are completely new to the topic up to speed for how we should judge cryptocurrency in relationship to the current system that we had, money. So we're going to look at cryptocurrency compared to fiat money. We'll explain that later. We're also going to look at some of the use cases and how cryptocurrency might fall short on some of those cases, and also what aspect of ideal money might um, explain why some of the use cases and some of the historic moments from Bitcoin, for instance, why they are the way that they are. What is limiting Bitcoin from becoming as popular as the euro or the dollar? So let's start with the functions that money needs to have. When you start off with money, you might think, oh, it's quite easy. I have money, you have something that I want, we exchange it. That is, of course, true. That is the first function of money. It's the medium of exchange. If I have €5 and you have a loaf of bread that you want to sell, us exchanging it is partaking in medium of exchange. If I have the €5 and there is nothing currently at the moment that I want to buy, it is more beneficial for me to store it in a piggy bank or at a bank somewhere in the city. The last thing that is not that difficult, but it's something that you need to wrap your head around, is the unit of amount, which basically means that a diamond, which is located in the picture upstairs, is not valued at anything unless we give it a price tag. A diamond is just a diamond, but a diamond is also worth $600. So the value of a product or of a gem, of just a stone that we found in the ground, is given value through money, which is our value system. So you don't say a gem is worth 50 handbags, you say one gem, so much money, one handbag, so much money. And now when we look at cryptocurrency, we want to look back at how easily can we use cryptocurrency for these three functions. Does it work as easily as cash does in the bank? Well, storage of value, it's quite easy. If you have it, you have it, you just hold it. However, when it comes to unit of amount and medium of exchange, and most definitely medium of exchange, it's something that cryptocurrency is struggling with when it comes to our market. Storage of amount, it's quite difficult. It's quite rare to hear someone say, oh, that kettle is worth so much Satoshis or so much Bitcoin. However, what is even more rare is for someone to commonly accept Bitcoin. It's only a very rare and niche thing. And Bitcoin is currently in transactions all around the world still a very rarity that is often more associated with gambling than anything else. But quite few of you might be wondering, what even is cryptocurrencies? How can I best visualize it? The easiest way I can say is that cryptocurrencies, just like your bank account, is just a number that specifies how much money you currently hold in that unit. So if you're a European bank, you will most likely hold so much euros. American bank will hold so much dollars. And a crypto site, it's not really a bank, but it does hold your money. It says you have so much bitcoins, or in the case of Bitcoin, you have so much satoshis, which is what a cent is to a euro, but even more satoshis fit in one Bitcoin. So now you know what digital is, but how is it different? Well, the main importance that you need to know is protocols, which is something that we will discuss later on. For now, it might be more important to look at how this differs from normal fiat money, because fiat money is something that you're more familiar with than you might even realize. Fiat money is money that is controlled, regulated, and registered by higher powers than our own. In this case, governmental bodies, they make regulations on how to best spend money and how to maintain money. Banking, they regulate inflation through lending out loans or cutting back on rent or creating job opportunities through investing money, or oversight on for single points for transactioning of large monies between, let's say, big whales in the market. Media can also show where money is going or what plans are being started. These three um, trusted third parties, so to say, make it possible for us people that to trust in the current system that we had. Without trust, it is quite important to remember, without trust, fiat money will not work, since fiat money only holds its value as long as everyone believes that it should hold its value. For instance, in banking, not everyone has the accessibility to their money that is on the banking account. If everyone were to go back to their banking and say, would like to uh, take all my money, the bank is simply refusing you to do that, since it does not have all your money at that point. It might have your money, but it does not hold all the money from all its users in its vault, because banks create money through giving money in the form of loans to other customers. But then you might be asking, well, why did we ever start with crypto then? What was so wrong with the current system that we had? Well, as banking and governmental agencies are more so there to centrally control the money that we have, cryptocurrencies were an attempt to decentralize money. Basically, it was an attempt to make sure that there was no need for a trusted third player above you to dictate what your money should do, where your money should go. It's all now decentralized. As the background behind me already noticed, instead of me, for instance, giving €5 to you, it wouldn't be me to going to my bank, having €5 and going to the other bank account, which is then yours. I can now, through cryptocurrencies, directly give €5 from one person A to person B. This decentralized system basically makes it possible for us all to interconnect as long as we trust protocols. And these protocols are something much more safe than, let's say, the arms of a trusted third party. Because in the arms of a trusted third party, it is often likely, it's not, sorry, I shouldn't say that, it's not likely, it's more likely that one of these three things will happen compared to a decentralized system. First off, exclusion. For instance, um, let's say ABN AMRO, who has been earning greatly on handing out loans to farmers, says we are only interested in farmers now. That means that you are now excluded from partaking in a society where ABN AMRO would be the only bank. You are excluded from the central system. You're no longer part of it. The other very big problem that you might have is dishonesty. If someone is whitewashing the books, if someone is taking money and hiding its tracks, you could just suddenly lose your money. Same would be the case if for loss of records. Let's say the Netherlands gets washed over by the sea and all the banks are submerged. That means that your money would also be submerged with it. But I hear you asking, Without being able to trust others or to maintain your ledger, how is value, ownership, and registration of transactions maintained then? Great question. Basically, this is all done through protocols in decentralized systems. And these protocols consist of smart contracts that are used to facilitate and, if not, remove money from failed or successful transactions. It basically works as follows. The massive image you see behind me is called a decision tree. It's made up of lots of points that are coded as, if this requirement is met, then that. If not, then this. Basically, what this does is that two people, if they want to, let's say, transact money, I have 5 Bitcoins, I have 5 NFTs, and we want to transact. Both people need to publish a public key. That would be the first. If this, then we go to the second layer. Now I will give my 5 Bitcoins. If this, then I'll give my 5 NFTs. If this, and this smart contract will, for us, transact it, and if completed, will transact it for us, and then everyone is happy with it. If not all the requirements are met in the decision tree, you can see some red dots, and the smart contract will be aborted, and everyone will receive back what they originally put into it. These smart contracts are a great security benefit, because smart contracts, once set, cannot be altered sneakily behind someone's back. So let's say I partake in a smart contract and I've seen the code and I see what is required. It can't be that as soon as the contract is completed, I get surprised by the outcome. The outcome will be exactly what the contract says. While with paper contracts, it could be changed later or pages could be ripped out. Now it's set in stone what will happen. These smart contracts, all of these smart contracts basically build up the protocol of a cryptocurrency, and it's through this protocol that we are capable of reaching a consensus about who owns what, which money has been gone from which to where, and it basically makes it possible for us to not have someone to rely on, since we have something to rely on. We can trust this machine to be unbiased, since it's just rules for it. It doesn't see person A as person A and person B with person B with this history and that history. It just sees this requirement is met, then I can do this. It doesn't require trust from us, and because it doesn't require trust, we can trust it completely to always do what it is set out to do. But I can hear you asking, if cryptocurrency has so many benefits, freedom, no dishonesty, no possible way for it all just to be gone due to climate disasters, then why haven't we all switched to cryptocurrencies yet? Well, that has something to do with this list. This list contains some of the ideal properties that money should have for our current society. And you can see the top 6, they're all orange, and they basically indicates that the cryptocurrencies all fall under this category with flying colors. Durability, portability, that looks at how easily you can maintain the money over a long period of time, how easily you can move it, if it's limited in supply, because value is often only created if something is limited. If we used corals of sand as money, everyone would be rich, and therefore no one would be rich. But seashells are quite rare and therefore can be used as a token of money. However, the most important one that is currently gray in my list is acceptability, which is one of the most common issues that cryptocurrency has when trying to enter our market. If this seems familiar to you, you would be one of the first, but how often in your local bakery or in your butcher shop, in your supermarket, have you paid with cryptocurrency? It's more often that cryptocurrency is just used or held, but it's quite never used within transactions. A famous example of when Bitcoins did enter the normal market was with the famous Bitcoin Pizza Day. This was back in 2010, just a year after Bitcoin was published. People were still new to it, and Bitcoin's value was quite low. And after hearing the story, you could quite easily see some of the issues with the acceptance of cryptocurrency in our market and how some of the parties might look at it. The story goes as followed. Laszlo Henjeks, A man from Florida agreed to have some dinner for the entire weekend. He wanted dinner on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and he said that he enjoyed the crusts on Sunday, so he just would have enough with 2 pizzas for him and his family. So he agreed with uh, Papa John's through a Bitcoin talking platform to pay 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. 10,000 Bitcoins at the time was more than enough for 2 pizzas. However, when looking back at current times, 10,000 Bitcoins roughly translates to 25 million American dollars in today's economy. This is an absurd amount for 2 pizzas, but it does highlight the major issue that cryptocurrencies have when entering our market. When looking at this timeline, from 2023 over the value of Bitcoin, you can see that at the beginning of the year, the value of it greatly differs from the end of the year. And this isn't some fluke year in which this happened. Cryptocurrencies are most commonly known as a way to properly gamble based on the value exchange throughout days, weeks, months, or even years. At the beginning of this year, it clearly shows that the Bitcoin was worth 25,000, but at the end it was worth nearly triple that at 65,000. So any good gambler would buy low and then sell high and then earn the profits and then earn the difference as a profit. And this has sadly been the reputation that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has taken with them. It's just a form of gambling. If you do it well, you'll get rich. If you don't do it well, you can lose it all. But I can hear some of you crypto enthusiasts say, but fiat money has a similar issues. There's inflation and deflation and unfamiliar economic prospects. Why would that change anything about crypto's likability? The issue with crypto is that it is, after all, decentralized. There are no higher powers that look to control the current value of the product. This is completely dependent on the popularity and the current um, user group of a certain cryptocurrency. However, when it comes to fiat money, there are governmental bodies and banking systems in place that try to minimize inflation to only the desired 2% that would be required for our society to prosper. It Fiat money basically can be summed up as a trust system in which we do trust each other, but through that trust we do gain more control over what we spend and how much we need to spend. Of course, there are some companies that are trying to reach out for the crypto audience, and why wouldn't they? Could you imagine a single company once again having the luck of a Bitcoin pizza? They would make they would set their price quite low. They would reach the Bitcoin, and over time, it would just 10,000 fold into a huge profit. The thing, however, is that most people that are into the crypto world are most likely there to either bypass taxes or there to gamble with it. They are most likely there to hold the money and not transact it. However, there are more and more companies like this one, BitPay, coming up that offer new solutions are offered as an intermediary person from the transactions. Basically, what these companies do is they will take up the role of a smart contract. They will take your cryptocurrencies, transform it into the money, basically hold the cryptocurrencies for themselves, and then pay the companies to deliver the products to you. They take over the role of the smart contract while benefiting of it greatly, basically becoming a trusted third party that needs to be in a transaction, which would suck if you're a crypto enthusiast, which would mean that in order for a decentralized system to function with major companies, you would need a centralized system in between that to bridge the two people, to bridge the two camps. Now, with all of that out of the way, I think we finally came back to the topic that I started at the beginning. It's been a long journey, but when completely finalizing my thoughts, I think it's quite a difficult task that Bitcoin has in its future. And I mean that sincerely. I would love to believe in a world where Bitcoin could one day be our main currency through computer systems and in which we would say that a lamp would be 5,000 Satoshis or 5,000 Bitcoins or whatever unit we would then take. The problem that I see with this is that in order for Bitcoin to ever reach that level of acceptance, it would need to um, overtake money in such a way that I don't think decentralized systems can ever do. As I see it now, decentralized systems are only a gateway to gambling, avoiding taxes, or doing a transaction in an extra step of just, instead of taking the money and making the transactions, it's now from the transaction getting cryptocurrency transaction, and the transaction goes back. Because apart from companies that want to hold Bitcoin, they don't want to hold the Bitcoin. They want to hold the Bitcoin so that one day they can also gamble with it to reach back to euros. There isn't a common value system that euros has or dollars has that currently Bitcoin has. Any person that currently is interested in Bitcoin is only interested in Bitcoin mining to reach more euros with it, not to reach more Bitcoins. That's only the programmers or maybe the entrepreneurs that once started the great company. I believe that for these cryptocurrencies to be accepted, it would require either a demolition of fiat money or an overtake or a power vacuum for it to step into that place. But there are other difficulties that might arise when doing such a thing. One could, for instance, think of the lack of clear unit, not unit of exchange. Um, One could, of course, think of the pricing. We don't know how many bitcoins, how easily it is mined, how easily it is durable, how easily it works on large scale. We only know currently on a worldwide scale how much it works, but we don't know um, how easily it could be mined, how easily a society works in which there are jobs, which is to maintain nothing but a computer system for money, and how much money can it build. Are they then also trusted third parties? Should we implement centralized systems into this decentralized cryptocurrency in order for it to build? Honestly, there are a lot of questions there, but the way I see it is that cryptocurrencies are a neat digital phenomena that I believe will sadly never reach out of the digital world without there being a power vacuum or without there being major changes to the value that we hold on money, which would require only nothing short of a bank crisis. Well, that concludes the end of the video. It surely does not conclude the end of the conversation. While now at the reference list, I do like to say that this list up above is not the full reference list. If you want to find that, it's in the it will be in the description for the video, or it will be in the document submitted for the assignment. This topic might have seemed quite bizarre to choose, but this is the main reason I chose this minor. I never chose this minor in order because I wanted to gamble money through cryptocurrency. I actually was interested to see if cryptocurrency was, as my dad always said, the money of the future, or the system of the future, I should say. But through this mine, I've seen now that while cryptocurrency holds a lot of interesting truths and it holds a lot of promise, I do believe that it only holds promise within the digital world, and escaping that will be a challenge that I look forward to, but I do not look forward to partaking in. I look forward to watching it unfold and seeing what the consequences and the results will be. I hope you enjoyed the video very much, and I hope to see you in one of my other videos. Bye bye.